What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. In today's video we're going to be doing one of our monthly free takeovers that I do for my Discord community. So if you guys are interested in one of these type of takeovers or account reviews, make sure you guys hop to my Discord in the description below. There is a channel dedicated for applications for these kind of services, and I basically pick one or at least one every month to try to handle and make content on. Hopefully it benefits everyone that watches it and so forth. In this video, this account we're probably going to spend a little bit more time on since we do have the artifact removal event on. So I want to take advantage of it for this player. Just, you know, a little bit of savings on his silver. And yeah, I want to go over a couple areas with you guys. And obviously, you know, go over his progress and stuff. Hopefully these videos provide you guys with some helpful tips and insights into a variety of different accounts. And you know, kind of what you can expect or what should expect from an account of this progression. Anyways guys, let's get right into it. Please keep in mind that these takeovers or reviews do actually take a significant amount of time to do properly. So that's kind of why I don't really bang out more than one per month. So please keep requests reasonable and so forth when applying at my Discord. But anyways, let's jump right into it. All right guys, so we got Kahlan here. He's level 76, so he says, I've been playing for about 2 years, only really started to get serious in the last 6 months, struggling to get shards, which we know is the key to everything. I've tried every combo and think of, help me out, find a decent clan boss team for Ultra Nightmare, and I've tried Wixwell's trick, doesn't work for me. I'm a light spender, probably spent $50 in total. The resources I tend to never have is silver and shards, but I have a bit of the rest. Awesome, so I can definitely work off of this. And of course, yeah, you're right. Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss is probably one of the biggest things that you can do for your progression account. So we'll definitely work on that. I'll go over your roster, regear some stuff if I can, especially with the free artifact removal event. Take advantage of that. And see if we can optimize some of your teams here. So level 76, I'm not expecting too much here, but we'll have a quick look at your account. All right, so let's have a look at the shard situation here. You do have a couple, which is good. I mean, this is like the basis of what you can start off with, right? With 2 sacred shards, you can definitely start saving for the next fusion. We are doing the Thor Titan event right now, so probably best to skip it. I don't know if you have Thor or if you've done Thor or anything like that, but best to skip it and get ready for next fusion if you can. Looks like you pulled all your ancient shards for the 2x ancient event going on. Don't blame you there, but definitely probably a good time to stock up as well for the next fusion. Check out the Great Hall. Level 91 for a 2-year account, although pretty casual. You know, it's kind of not super great. 74 fights. It's the weekend, so you're missing about, you know, at least 100 fights here. So you're probably only doing about 40% of what you probably should be. So definitely up your arena game. Definitely need to be in a higher tier as well. But this takes constant gameplay to keep up sometimes. So it's probably a gameplay issue, but definitely would recommend getting higher in arena tier. Gives you more stats, makes the arena tournaments a bit easier. This looks like a pretty big boo-boo here, going for the gold 10 on the attack. The reason why attack is not the best to go for is because attack won't benefit all of your champions, right? And having attack is kind of like extra. It's kind of like an extra luxury, to be honest. Like most builds, they'll work with less attack. Like for example, like a nuker, for example, will work. But something like same thing applies to like crit damage. But something like accuracy, like if you don't have enough accuracy, especially in the beginning, it's your build won't work, right? Like your debuffers won't debuff, and then your build, like your team will just kind of fall apart. So focusing on attack, it just feels like a little bit of a luxury and definitely not a priority, as opposed to having builds work, which, you know, accuracy kind of enables. Also, like I said, attack doesn't benefit all your damage dealers. So something like crit damage would be a better damage dealing stat if you wanted to focus on damage dealing. So usually I recommend accuracy and then crit damage. However, obviously there's more sets now with accuracy. So maybe the accuracy requirement is not as important anymore. But if you wanted to do damage, I would definitely go for crit damage instead. So just a quick note about that. Arena bonuses, not much going on here as expected. Hopping on out, going to the Tavern. We got some brews. That's good to see. It's going to help you do those champion training tournaments. What do we got here? Books. 8 legendary books. Okay, you got enough epic books for any epic, and 8 legendary books might be able to get you booked out legendary. Rathlos not booked. Sisia partially booked. Oh, that sucks. You probably want to invest one more book here just to get it down, but I'm not gonna do it right now. Artak partially booked. Oh, Wukong not booked. Okay. It'll be interesting to see what kind of champions you have fully booked, but I definitely recommend, in terms of using books, especially early on, actually I guess for anybody, to basically don't book a champion unless you have the necessary books you need to hit the necessary skill you need. So for example, if I wanted to book Artak here, I would definitely want the cooldowns on this. I want the cooldowns on A2 and I want the cooldowns on A3 as well as the debuff chance. So you need 3 books here and you need 7 books here. So the minimum I would put into Artak is 7 books, and that's if they roll perfectly into the A2 and A3. You probably need to allot for more than 7 books because it might land in as A1. So without a minimum of 7 books, I would not commit any books to this champion. So right now you committed 2 books to this champion. Why would you do that? Since you could have committed those 2 books into, like, for example, Sisia, and you could have a chance to fully book her out. Yeah, it's kind of like spending books you don't have to for no gain. Like, for example, let's say, for example, Artak is a great champion. Let's say, for example, you put 2 books in Artak, which you did here, and you no longer use Artak. You found something better. It's not like, just an example. You found something better, and now these 2 books are just kind of spent for no reason, right? You have these 2 books that don't really benefit this champion, stuck in this champion. So I recommend booking out the champion fully, or at least fully to hit the desired skill when you have the books available. Do not put your books in one at a time, for example, and then have partially booked champions that don't fully function in the way that you want them to, right? So for example, yeah, the best example here is Sisia, right? Like, you have this guild that has no cooldown on it. At least the debuff chance is fully booked out, but you definitely need to book her out fully. And then Artak definitely doesn't look good with just 2 books in him. So just a quick tip for everybody out there when you guys are using books. All right, let's have a look here. It's probably not much going on here as expected. Yeah, not much going on there. Generally, like mid-game progression accounts, you're not going to be focusing too hard on Iron Twins, and it won't be easy for you to get through Iron Twins anyways. Let's see, dungeons. Quick look at the dungeons here. It's tackling normal. Okay. What's Spider at? Normal. Okay. Still normal. Okay, so not too much tackling of the other stuff. He's on 16 on Sand Devil. Fire Knight 25. Okay, hard one. Shogun, probably nothing. Okay, mid-tier Shogun, that's okay. Shogun and Sand Devil, you're probably not going to focus too much energy on, just because you don't really have gear worth fixing. So you're not going to invest too much energy getting stuff to fix it. But yeah, so mid-tier in the event dungeon, that seems about right. Iron Twins, quick look here. Hey, at the end there. Okay, so just a quick little look here, not too bad. Check the inbox here real quick. Ooh, that's spicy. I mean, you got a lot of energy, right? It's good. It's a good thing. Like, you're saving up the energies here, you know, the free energies and whatever. So that's good. This one's expiring, so I'm going to collect it. You're already overcapped anyway, so I'm not. I'm sure you're fine with that. But let's hop into the box here and see what you are working with. All right, you got Duchess here with 170 speed. She has decent. Everything else, just the speed is kind of horrendous. Looks like you're trying to go for like a resistance build here, but she doesn't have enough resistance to do anything. She is fully booked, which is good to see, and she is mastered, which is good to see. Not feeling the elixir of life on her right now. You definitely want to take timely intervention on team revivers. So whenever an ally drops below 25%, then Duchess will get some turn meter and have a chance to basically recover. That seems fine. Selfless Defender seems fine, but I mean, she's not super sturdy that Selfless Defender, you know, is really needed, I guess. I mean, if she has stone skin, then maybe selfless defender would be okay. Check the gear pieces here real quick. HP, resistance, attack percentage. Oh, no, 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 no. You need speed boots. You definitely need speed boots here, man. What gear set is this? I forget. No, it's a righteous, sorry. Okay, so I guess you don't have any speed boots. Then you don't use this set. I mean, that's about it. You have to go, yeah, like you have to get the proper stats, right? I'm sure you could probably hit a better build than this, just by doing random gear. So I'm gonna go and load up this in the optimizer, and we'll just use this as an example, and then we'll gear from there. Actually, you know what? Before that, we'll actually take a longer look at your roster here, so we can prioritize which champion we want to focus our efforts into. Obviously, Duchess is going to be one of those top champions for most accounts. But I just want to make sure that we're covering our bases and checking all the champions in his box first before we make any gear changes. So let's move on. We got Mythrala here. What's she packing? She packing 200 speed, so low speed, low accuracy, low HP. Fully booked, that's good to see. Phantom Touch is not good to see. For Mythrala, for PvE content, you probably want her in Brimstone. It just deals more damage. So for example, you want this guy. For PvP, you can go, there's a couple different blessings you can go for her. You can go for like Temporal Chains, works pretty well. Could go for the banner. But yeah, I think here it's going to be a very easy Brimstone, so I'm going to change that for you. Masteries. These look fair. Eagle Eye is correct. Probably wouldn't care too much about deterrence. You went for the shield buff, and then you went for accuracy. You went for bonuses here. So what I would probably do is I would probably go down instead of accuracy, since usually Mythrala has plenty of accuracy. You go down to here so for some bigger shields, and then probably instead of taking Eagle Eye, I would have taken Laura Steel, but then instead of Eagle Eye, I would have taken more bigger shield, and then instead of deterrence, I would have taken lasting gifts, so you get some extra duration on her buffs. In terms of overall build, it is what it's not great, but yeah, we'll have a look. She's definitely going to be one of your most important champions on this account. Good thing that you have her though, so that's really good. Wixwell here in some kind of build. Clan Boss build, probably Clan Boss build. Brimstone, good. Fully booked, good. Masteries, looks fine. Okay, good. Wixwell, getting the Ultra Nightmare team is probably going to be priority first, so that's probably going to be how I'm going to gearing this account, I think. Rathalos, he's not crit capped. He's slowish. What is he in? 6-piece Slayer? 5-piece Slayer. Really need that 6-piece, man. The 6-piece is just massive damage. I mean, if you're going to gear damage dealer for damage, you really need the one extra piece here for the ignore damage. Anyways, I don't think he's going to be doing any damage with 0 books, so that's going to be another problem. Soul Reap is fine. Masteries, he is mastered, that's good to see, and he is in nuclear masteries. But he's not going to be nuking anybody dead with no books in his build and no ignore damage, so he definitely needs a rebuild or a full rework. In terms of this UDK, 6-piece, slow, pretty low survivability stats overall, but something to work on. Brimstone, probably not the best choice since he has no accuracy to land his Brimstone. So definitely not the right choice there. In terms of masteries, you're going for a War Master. It's kind of interesting. I don't think that's going to be the correct mastery as well. Since he has no speed, he's going to be doing no attacks. Therefore, he's going to be doing no damage. So why not just go for defense and support? Maybe take Unshakable. I mean, you could even take Elixir of Life just for some extra stats. But yeah, War Master is definitely not going to be it. It really depends on your build. Personally, I run like a high resistance Death Knight, so I take Unshakable. That's mainly to counter Sun Wukong's, but you can definitely take something like Fearsome Presence, give him Sheep, give him a little bit of accuracy. There's different builds for this, so we'll work on the stats first afterwards. Let's see, Sisia here, good accuracy. A little bit slow. Other stats seem okay-ish, but still kind of slow and weak. Crushing Ren, sure, for damage. Giant Slayer, okay, that's kind of interesting. Giant Slayer, does she have multi-hits? Triple hit A1, single hit. I guess Giant Slayer can be okay. Probably still take War Master here. But yeah, her build doesn't look too bad. You're probably using her for like Hydra or something. Artac and Lifesteal. Maybe trying to do some solo content. Has accuracy for dungeons. Slow-ish. Slow-ish. Ooh, missing the T6. Yeah, I need that T6. Cruelty. Cruelty's probably like, Cruelty's okay. But like, obviously Artac for like any bosses would be like Brimstone. And if he's doing solo content, he's going to be using like either Emergency Heal or Miracle Heal. Sorry, Miracle Heal, or what's that other one? Emergency Heal, I think. Something else. Miracle Heal. Which Miracle Heal? Chances. Where's that shield one? Sorry. I'm looking for that shield heal one. Oh, Emergency Heal. Yeah, Emergency Heal or Miracle Heal. So if you're doing solo content, that's probably what you want for him. Rhonda, she is in mixed gear. Okay, mixed gear, crit capped. I mean, yeah, at least, yeah, she's crit capped. She's fully booked. I mean, she's probably going to be your best champion, actually, for dealing damage. Might be something to think about here. She does have a blessing as well. Sun Wukong, not built out. Yannicka, not really built out. I wouldn't call this built out. She is fully booked too. So you kind of see the problem here, right? Like, you got fully booked Yannicka. She's like in a really blah build. Like, she's not fully crit capped. She's super slow. She's not like a premier damage dealer or anything like that. And then you have a guy like Sun Wukong. He's not built properly. And he has no books. Whereas, you know, if you spent the books, if you save the books from Yannicka and put them in Sun Wukong would just do a lot of work for you. But let's see what else we can do here. Yeah, Carl, he's built for damage, I guess, but no mastery, so he's not really used too much. Deliana and Slayer. Looks like, you know, it looks like the spending went into the Forge Pass, because I see a lot of like, you know, set pieces here, and that's great, right? Forge Pass is great value, so it really, you know, boosts your gear quality up quite a bit. So that's really good value, right? But yeah, some of these builds, not really the best, right? So we'll see what we can do here. Brachus, he's in actually instant gear, which is good because it gives him ignore defense. So it's probably his best damage dealing set. Not fully booked. Again, the problem with the partial books landing, you know, the partially booked champions is just really killer. I do see masteries here, which is great. So there was some investment. Ninja has no accuracy to do anything. Again, partially booked. Really killer here. Fully mastered. I like the fully mastered. That's good. That's giving you some stuff to work with. Okay. Scylla Drakes. Scylla Drakes is fine, right? Just not in this build, but she's not booked. She's not committed to, so that's fine. You got Fat Man. Fat Man looks like a decent build here. Fast, decent accuracy. Stagnite. A bit too slow, way too slow. Is fully mastered. Is fully booked. Is fully booked. Okay, maybe we'll focus on epics here. Fully booked Godseeker with masteries. That's good. And Geomancer. Okay, good. Good to see Geomancer here. Fully booked. Mastered. Phantom Touch, probably not the best for him as well. But let's move on. So Venomage, a little bit slow. Not fully booked, so not the best. Probably not used very often here. Sandlash, fully booked. Not fully booked. Oh, sorry, fully booked here. Not fully mastered. That's fine. That's fine. We can use Sandlash for the Wixwell team. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna make a Wixwell team for you. Make sure we get that alternate Nightmare team farm going, and yeah, that's gonna jumpstart your account. In terms of what's on deck, we have Arbor on deck to be built. That's great. Anything else? I see a lot of 40s here. I'm not feeling that. I guess maybe for faction wars, but if you're doing faction war stuff, you probably want to, you know, make these into 50s. If they're worth going to 40, they're probably worth going to 50 sometimes. But yeah, a lot of 40s here with like ascensions and stuff. So I don't know if you're using them or for what. Second Geomancer. Okay, I see a Cold Heart here, but not booked. Sorry, I see a Cold Heart here, but not... Okay, I see one here. Okay, good. I do see a Cold Heart. All right, let's get to work. I'm going to first make the Clan Boss team, and then we will go from there. All right, guys, so I spent some time behind the scenes building this Wixwell team for Kahlan here, and we're at turn 50, and it looks perfectly good. It actually looks really good right now, so I have no doubt that this is going to go the turn limit, and hopefully we'll get him his first 1-key Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss run, and then we can unlock the quick battle, which will be a massive improvement in life for Kahlan. And obviously he has never entered Ultra Nightmare before, so having this team is just going to open up a ton of options for him in terms of what he can do in this game. So this is a massive upgrade for his account. This team should be 100% affinity friendly. I made the champions with builds that are useful in other areas of the game as well, because I know that his resources are limited. I didn't spend any silver to upgrade any gear, so I just used whatever gear was on hand. Luckily, Kahlan, like I said, had a lot of Forge Pass gear, so he does have some good quality, like 6-star legendary gear, but he's really lacking in rolled gear and actually good pieces of gear. There's a lot of gear pieces with no speed, for example. Yeah, it's just the selection of gear was very limited, and as well he just didn't have the resources to roll up any gear. He has about 4 million silver, so I basically made this team from spare parts, but I made sure that the champions are usable in all areas of the game, so they're not like really janky speeds and all that stuff. You see, I do have Duchess in this team. Of course, if I'm going to have an absolute powerhouse champion like Duchess on an account, I have to use it. This is not going to be like a fully budget team for everyone to use. However, it is pretty budget, right? We're using Valerie, the rare, in this team. Farmable from level 1 of campaign. And then we have Sandlash Survivor, which basically is pretty replaceable. She's just here for the buff duration increase. She can be replaced by Hellborn Sprite, which is a rare, which is probably better than Sandlash Survivor because Hellborn Sprite brings an extra buff. And then we have like the People's Champion, the Geomancer. He's an epic, but he brings the big damage necessary to take down the Clan Boss. Keep in mind here that we are fighting against the Void Clan Boss here, so Geomancer is going to be doing much less damage overall. And Duchess is obviously not necessary for this team, but Duchess makes it, first of all, Duchess makes it affinity friendly with the block debuff. Second of all, she brings tons of buffs herself, which helps Wixwell. She also brings a bit of damage reduction as well in her passive, so it makes everyone receive less damage, which means you're more likely to have a run survive. If you guys are interested in this team, I do have some videos for Wixwell. The team to build is actually pretty simple. You don't really need specific speed tune usually for this. So generally I just follow like there's a general guideline on how to build these types of Wixwell teams with limited resources. Obviously not optimal. It can be more optimized, but it works. And with limited resources, you just have to use what works with what you have on hand. So this team works perfectly fine. Like I said, I have no doubt. You can see the size of the shields. We are on turn 70. Usually if you have a Wixwell team that kind of falls apart, it's going to be around turn 15, 16, or turn 30 to 35. Because at turn 30 and 35, the damage incoming is so powerful, your team's not going to survive. So if you survive past that, you're likely going to go the distance. If your team falls apart around 15, that means buffs are falling off, or you're receiving too much damage too early. That means either your stats are falling off, or you don't have enough shields on, for example, or you're outrunning your buffs. So basically your shields are being depleted some way or another very early. But yeah, like I said, turn 74, it looks really good right now. I have no doubt it's going to go the full 1500 turns, but we have to wait it out, so I will be waiting it out in the sidelines here. And like I said, guys, Duchess is going to be one of his most powerhouse champions on his account. I didn't want her to be stuck in a build that just doesn't make sense, so I made her in a decent build relative to his account so that she is usable in many other areas. Even Geomancer, which is probably going to be very, very important for his account, I made him at a reasonable speed and that he is still usable in other areas of the game. So anyways, we'll hop back near the end of this run and we'll talk a little bit more. Just doing some extra work here on the sidelines. We have his account hooked up to the Hell Hades optimizer here, and just going through the fastest champion on his account. If his arbiter was level 60, his fastest account speed is about 300. So that's kind of, you know, the range of gear that we're working with here. Obviously, he said he's been playing for about 2 years, but only seriously been playing for about 6 months. So I wouldn't consider him a 2-year player, especially with this type of speed. He does have a lot of righteous gear I saw, which is really, really good. Righteous is basically like a lighter speed set. It's 10% instead of 12%. So he does have some good pieces, but 300 speed here, he definitely has some gear to roll up and all that stuff. Maybe some glyphs as well. So definitely some things to work on for him. As for his damage dealers, I wanted to take a look at his damage dealers a little bit here. And from what I saw, he was working with Rhonda, who's fully booked. But I don't think Rhonda in his roster is his best damage dealer. It has to be Sun Wukong. But I don't know what the story is with Sun Wukong and why he has 0 books. And some of these champions have, you know, multiple books in them already. You know, you can definitely make Rhonda work, but I think investing in Rhonda over Sun Wukong is kind of limiting a little bit. Just because Sun Wukong deals significantly more damage in some situations than Rhonda, and Rhonda's more like a specialist champion. Also, Ninja would benefit a lot from books just because of his boss killing ability. But luckily, he has Geomancer, which takes over that role pretty well. Yeah, Brachus has 3 books in him. Deliana has 6 books in her. Those are kind of wasted books, right? Like those could have went into Sun Wukong or whatever. So in this situation, also he's using Rathlos as his main damage dealer, which is probably not the best because again he has no books. So I think for Kahlan's account, I probably would focus my damage dealer as Rhonda since she is fully booked. And I would go full damage. Let's make her reasonable speed. The best thing about Rhonda is that she doesn't require accuracy, which is awesome. So you can mainly focus on her best overall build for damage. So here we have have her hooked up with the HH optimizer, which will spit out the best possible build for his account. So for example, let's have just a quick look at what's going on here. So he doesn't have any good savage gear or anything like that. So we're running with 1 piece Cruel with a couple random Slayer pieces, and then, you know, otherwise just random pieces to hit the stats, right? So let's have a look at the total stats here. So we're looking at 176 speed, 295 crit damage, and 5k attack. That's actually not too bad. She also has 1 blessing here for the extra HP. Her next blessing will be, you know, plus 750 attack. So it's not too bad of a build here. If he didn't want to use Rhonda as his main damage dealer, like this is for like arena and stuff like that. I'm sure he doesn't do a lot of arena because it's probably not enjoyable for him, but you definitely need to focus on arena just to boost up your stats. Make sure you get those, you know, easy rewards, get those medals and all that stuff. But I don't really see another viable damage dealer. I would probably invest in Sun Wukong next as a damage dealer for something like arena. But Wukong is going to be good in like other areas too, like Hydra, for example. But he's 11 books away from making him really good. So in this case, I wouldn't mind using Sun Wukong in like a debuffer role, in a support role, because as a debuffer, Sun Wukong actually can work without any books, right? So let's say he's a debuffer role, and let's say he's going to be, you know, let's say he's going to go accuracy, right? Let's say he's going to go accuracy. He's going to skip all of that damage and all that stuff. So let's see what kind of build it spits out for Sun Wukong. So he's going to be the stripper and the sheeper, okay? He's going to be quick with good accuracy. 500 accuracy for his account, I think, is pretty decent. So he's wearing perception gear with some feral pieces. Yeah, so this is roughly what you kind of expect. This is actually a pretty good banner for his account. You know, 6-star accuracy with a single hit and speed. That's actually a good banner for this level of account. So for Sun Wukong, you can definitely build him as a debuffer. So like champion that is just going to support your champions. So you can use Sun Wukong as like a strip champion, as a sheep champion. You don't necessarily need, or like a speed aura, for example, you don't necessarily need to use him as a damage dealer. But I would switch him to a damage dealer once you get the books for him. All right. Obviously, I can't do any of this regearing work since the clan boss is still going on, but it's worth my time to at least talk about some of these options for you. After that, the next champion that's probably really important for this account is probably Mythrala, right? So Mythrala here, you really want her to build her quick enough to use her cleanse ability, and then obviously sturdy enough that her shield makes sense. You don't need like insane resistance or accuracy, but if you're focusing her on PvP, you do need more of these stats. For PvE, you don't necessarily need an insane amount, right? So let's see what we can build here. Let's build her at, let's say like 250 with good HP, and let's say like minimum 350 accuracy. And we'll prioritize resistance as well. And let's see what kind of build we get for Mythrala here. Optimizer works pretty fast because Kahlan doesn't have a lot of gear on his account. So yeah, we got 250 here. We got 71k HP. That's not too bad. We have a combined 600 resistance here, which is going to be pretty good for PvP at his level as well. We have enough accuracy for most levels, even hard Doom Tower, so that's looking pretty good. And it doesn't take really any gear off of anybody else. So it looks pretty good here. Yeah, righteous piece and 4 perception pieces. So looks pretty good in my opinion. You can definitely improve this build significantly, but I think this is a really solid build for Mythrala. So definitely something I would look into putting together. And I might put it together for you after this clan boss run. But Mythrala at around 250 for this account, I think is pretty good. All right, so let's hop back out. Let's see what else we can do here. Artak. Unfortunately, Artak's going to be great in a lot of areas. He brings HP burns, but without books, it's not going to be consistent. Going to be usable in some areas, but no books, not consistent. Ninja's also somebody that is very interesting, but he's pretty far away with the lack of books. So considering that Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, if you can farm it double chest every day, you're probably looking at about, 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 books, depending on your luck per month. So if you don't do any events, if you don't do anything, but just farm Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, you can probably book out one legendary champion a month. You're probably about, in my opinion, you probably want to book out Sun Wukong, you probably want to book out Ninja, you probably want to book out Artak. Those are probably your priorities. You're probably 3 months away from having this account be like pretty top notch. Blade Master, right now you don't really need him. He's going to be really good in Hydra for you, but you don't really need him for too much. Like your clan boss team is going to be pretty set after this this key that I'm going to put in for you. But Blade Master, you don't really need to do too much right now. I might even just shelve him for a little bit. Let's take a look at this Ultimate Death Knight here. Ultimate Death Knight doesn't need books at all to do what he needs to do, right? So I checked out your Stone Skin gear. It's basically non-existent for speed, so it's really tough to gear any of your champions in speed. Speed Stone Skin, but that's perfect for Ultimate Death Knight because he doesn't need any speed. So let's see what we can do for Ultimate Death Knight here in terms of a build. I want to prioritize the HP because that's going to be the strongest damage soaking stat for Arena. For example, I limited his speed a bit, so I don't want him to be too fast. Let's go. So we got defense, gloves, HP chest, attack boots. I don't know how come this is the best boot you have on your account, but you could definitely have probably better somewhere. So you need to roll up some more gear to get some better boots, but you're probably looking to build like this just to make this Ultimate Death Knight a lot better. So for example, like this Ultimate Death Knight has an extra 20k HP on him already, and if you can find HP percentage boots, he's gonna just be like at significantly more HP, like 85k. So it's just gonna be a lot better build for Ultimate Death Knight. He's just an easy champion to rebuild here, but I don't have the silver to re-roll your gear. Another champion I'm really interested in taking a look at is Godseeker and Eerie. We should probably lean on your epics quite a bit just because they are fully booked. Some of them are fully mastered as well. But for Godseeker and Eerie, I want to make sure that she's able to handle Sand Devil or whether you have the gear to handle Sand Devil. You do have a ninja, which is going to be really good. But the problem with ninja is that he can deal a lot of damage for you for Sand Devil, but he's not fully booked. So he might not be the fastest option, but eventually he will be the fastest option. So in this case, I'm going to try to make your Godseeker in regeneration gear. And then we're going to see what kind of regeneration gear you have. See if we are even able to even have this conversation. I know you're not going to be able to hit the stats for 25, but let's have a look here. I mean, this build works perfectly fine here. This build, for example, at 180, like mid 180 speed, should be able to take you at least into the low 20s for Sand Devil. And once these stats improve, you can definitely do 25. So that's a pretty good banner. You got quad HP on HP. It's a nice one. Keeper for life. But yeah, you're gonna need about 70, about 70 something, about 70k HP, and then probably about 5k defense for 25 with this speed. You need masteries on her as well to have spirit haste. Ninja, you can pair her with ninja, and then you're gonna have Sand Devil team, right? At this point, you're not gonna be able to farm Sand Devil 25. Just gotta be realistic about that. So that's a definite no-go, but you have the options here. Just a quick look at the event dungeon teams here. I mean, what people are using, they have good stats, right? That's why they're running them so quick, under a minute. They have good stats. This is level 20. You're just going to be running like cleansers, damage dealers against Odin. So I definitely recommend trying this, but I don't think I would spend too much energy on this right away just because you don't really have proper damage dealers, for example. But yeah, so right now, proper damage dealer would be, I would probably regear Sun Wukong in that support role, like I was mentioning. Rhonda in full damage. And then let's see if we can lean on your epics a little bit here. Geomancer, we're already using. The Cold Heart we can rebuild right now. This build looks actually okay. 70 crit rate, proper speed with accuracy. It's already missing a piece. I think she was in Destroy. Maybe she was in, I took a Destroy chest from her. So she was in Destroy gear, which is kind of interesting why you would put her in Destroy gear. Maybe for Scarab King. That's possible. But yeah, her build looks good, as with actually just these stats. So definitely build her like that if you can. Cold Heart. Let's see, anybody else that's worth leaning on here? You got 50s. I mean, you're gonna need some of them at 60s to finish like faction wars and stuff. Like Archmage Helmet is pretty good champ. You can use them at 50. Rollguard could be useful for some dungeons, but it looks like you're at least finished all the normal dungeons, which is pretty good. Let's see what else. Anybody else here? I mean, what am I talking about? There's so much here that you can actually do, right? Like you have lots of great epic champions. Batman can help you a hard Fire Knight. Stag Knight can help there as well. You have your answer for a Sand Devil right here. You have your answer for Amius, Venomage. Venomage is also the answer to like the lizard room for Doom Tower. You have Cold Heart here. She's built fine. Arbor is coming. Visix is going to help you carry through faction wars. Helmet for faction wars is awesome. Ursula for faction wars. So, these are like key champs that's going to just carry you into the win to complete those faction war levels. Yeah, I mean, you have a Painkeeper here. I saw a couple Painkeepers, so you could definitely make a Painkeeper. I'm trying to see if you have a block damage champion. That's kind of what you need for Iron Twins. You don't have the block damage champion. You do have the Geomancer, but no block damage champion for Iron Twins. So Iron Twins is going to be a little bit trouble for you, but those are pretty like later stage dungeons that you don't really need to worry about. So after this clan boss run, I'm probably going to have a quick look at your dungeon teams and see if we can improve on some of them, or at least improve some of the builds. I really like the idea of using Rhonda for full damage, Wukong as a support strip champion, sheep champion. And I think those are two big upgrades for you. Our Duchess is already improved. Will improve your Mythrala as well. And once you have your Arbiter, you can just fit her with your best speed gear. And then you're going to have some, decent arena options at least. And yeah, after that, you're probably gonna need 3 months worth of farming Ultra Nightmare just to get the books to farm to book out your key champions. And then Ultimate Death Knight we can regear as well. So we'll probably come back and revisit all these regearing things after the clan boss run. Okay. There's like really just so much to do on this account. Like you can just rebuild this whole account. But it's going to take time, right? And it depends how much time you have, and don't feel, you know, overwhelmed or anything like that. Like this game is a long-term game, right? So the more you rush into things, the more you feel pressure to like pull shards and improve your account and all that. And then you kind of just take the fun out of it. A lot of this game is just working at your own pace, right? You're just playing your own game. So definitely just enjoy the journey. At least you have a little map to work with now. So anyways, we'll revisit some of this as soon as the clan boss run is over. All right, guys, we're nearing the end of this run. This run has been going on for 42 minutes. So, you know, luckily Raid is an AFK game, so I had it going on in the background, but still I had to run the full run here. But yeah, we're heading towards the turn meter count limit. And you can kind of see here, all our team has humongous shields. They're taking over 700,000 damage on the stun hit, but it's not going to go through the shields. Duchess just took 735k there. What do you guys think is the total damage output for this team? Let me know in the comments below before it shows on the screen. But I think Kahlan's going to be pretty surprised and pretty happy, I think, considering that he's never touched Ultra Nightmare before. He was stuck in Nightmare difficulty, and now he's going to turn limit against Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. So here's the final tally. 225 million damage. Congratulations, Kahlan. Welcome to Ultra Nightmare. Welcome to shards and books and all those juicy rewards that you can hit every day. Obviously, Geomancer doing all the damage here. We got Wixwell with the Brimstone pitching in 27 million damage here as well. Warmaster pitching in some damage here. So let's replay, edit team replay. I hope this is good. Oh wait, sorry, I'm thinking Hydra, where you have to accept. This is done. Okay, I didn't want to do anything weird. Okay, we're done here. So skip. And there you go, man. You're gonna run your clan now with this team. So congratulations. Welcome to Ultra Nightmare, bud. This is on void difficulty, so you can definitely do more damage on like affinity, different affinity. And it's going to be affinity friendly because Duchess is placing the block debuffs. I want to, unfortunately, I did not show you guys the presets before completing this key, but I'll quickly go over it here. So basically, Wixwell will open with his A3 and then prioritize A2. Duchess opens with his A2 and then turns it off because you don't have to place it again. Geomancer opens with the HP burn and then prioritizes it. Valerie turns off her shield and then just prioritizes her A2, her extension. Sandlash will just prioritize her A2 and open with the A2 extension as well. So that's pretty much it. I'll show you guys the stats in the box here. So most recently used, we'll go for Duchess. So this is the Duchess build, like I'm using 8 level 8 gear, but she is like a serviceable HP, a serviceable speed now compared to her previous build, which was only 170 speed with about 70k HP. So this build is a lot more sturdier. He has room to grow, obviously glyphs and maxing out some of these pieces of gear, for example. Definitely going to be a lot better. In terms of overall masteries, like I said, I would try to change for here and then you're good to go. This is Wixwell. Reflex is a pretty mandatory thing for a Wixwell team. 220 speed, has enough accuracy to land a decreased attack, which is pretty important. After that, Warmaster is going to pitch in some extra damage. Everything else doesn't really matter. Books are important, of course. Brimstone is important. Geomancer here in a serviceable build, not an insane build or anything, but he has accuracy to work the Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. He has enough speed for some content. Obviously more is better, and you do have room to increase his speed a little bit and still have the team work. 62k HP lets him survive some levels. As for Phantom Touch, you could change this to Cruelty, for example. He's a really good candidate for it because he's an A1 AoE. But I would probably keep it as is right now, which is probably okay. Phantom Touch probably deals more damage to the clan boss anyways. Sandlash in the shield set, You know, you don't really need to touch her at all. It works perfectly fine. Everything about her looks perfectly fine. She doesn't need accuracy or anything like that. You don't need to finish off this gear. Looks good. Masteries, no need for masteries either because you're doing 225k damage, a million damage. Valerie here, again, in a shield set. Doesn't need accuracy. Speed is fine. And like I said, the build and run was perfectly fine. Doesn't need anything. All right. You could, I mean, if you want more damage, you can change this to, I don't know, Phantom Touch, I guess. Yeah, you can change it to Phantom Touch for more damage if you want. Okay, so that's going to be your Wixwell team. Congratulations. Like I said, welcome to Ultra Nightmare. Let's work on some of your builds here. All right, so I've fully rebuilt your Rhonda here. I think she's going to be a lot more powerful for you. 196 speed with 220 crit damage. She is in Instinct gear, so she has Ignore defense in her kit now, which is really, really good. Masteries, you're going to have to change this away from War Master. You ideally probably want Helm Smasher for her to deal damage. I don't know if any of this is super important. You probably want to take the defense tree instead of support, in my opinion. I gave you Phantom Touch, so she can deal some extra damage. If you roll up her gear, she's going to do more damage as well. But I think this is going to be your best damage build on your best damage dealer that is fully booked at this moment and fully mastered. So definitely use your Rhonda. Let's work on your Sun Wukong for now. All right, so you can see his current Sun Wukong doesn't really look like he's going to be able to do anything. He doesn't have full masteries on him, and that's fine. But I want to make him into a build that can work right now while he builds up his books. Because as a damage dealer, he doesn't work very well without books because he gets a lot of damage here. But as a debuffer, he works very well because he doesn't need any books for debuff chance. So let's build him out in as a support debuffer. So I'm fully built him out here. So this is the build I got him in. 227 speed with 500 accuracy, so he can actually do some stripping. You're going to want to fully max these boots out so then you get maximum speed. So I'm going to equip him here. And this is going to be your new build. You definitely don't want these masteries anymore. For this particular build, you want Eagle Eye, but I don't think I would invest the gems or anything like that. I would still probably build him out. I would build him out for Helm Smasher as a DPS champion when you have full books. So right now, I would use this build. It's serviceable build. Use him as a support champion with 500 accuracy to strip your enemies and to sheep them, okay? So after that, let's work on the Mythrala just here. Honestly, this Mythrala is not too bad, right? It definitely can work. Over 200 speed, got 400 accuracy. It can work, but it can be better. So let's make it better. We're going to do this, equipped in game. Boom. Unfortunately, it's taking 2 pieces of gear from Sun Wukong. Let's do that. Let's take the gear from Sun Wukong, and then we'll re-gear Sun Wukong here. So let's take the gear from Sun Wukong. Now our Mythrala has, you know, extra 20k HP. She's basically doubled her overall resistance. She has enough accuracy to handle even hard Doom Tower, which is probably where you want to be tackling next for this account. So it looks a lot better in my opinion. And we'll rebuild his Sun Wukong just to finish off those 2 pieces. All right, we got him back with some speed. His accuracy dropped just a little bit, but the best thing is keeping his speed up high so he goes before your damage dealers. All right, so let's move on to the UDK. So this is the UDK that he's running right now, 52k HP and 5k defense. Let's improve this UDK. All right, so we're trading about 700 defense for about 15k extra HP. It's a good trade-off. We also reduce our speed quite a bit. This makes our 2-turn Stone Skin last longer, as well as he can level up some of this gear to increase his stats even further. So HP from the helm, defense from the shield. So yeah, let's do that. Nice little boost there. So his UDK looks a lot more sturdier, about 30% more HP, so a bit sturdier there. Yannicka would probably be his next best damage dealer because she is fully booked and she is fully mastered, and she does have a blessing available to her. Unfortunately, she is Spirit Affinity, which will be, you know, obviously conflict against Sun Wukong once he starts building Sun Wukong as a damage dealer. But for now, you can still use Yannicka as a damage dealer. So let's re-gear her. All right, so this is the build I got Yannicka in right now. It's just going to be a 2-piece Cruel set, 180 speed, a little bit slow, but it's going to work for her pretty good. And about 5k attack. She does have the blessing to give her a little bit of HP, so that's going to be helpful for surviving. So I'm going to equip her right now. And again, this is going to be your best damage dealing champion. I'm going to give her, I guess, Soul Reaper for a little bit, just a little smidge of extra damage. But yeah, so that's going to be your second best damage, mainly because she's booked, not because she deals a ton of damage. And she does have masteries on. Helm Smasher is good, so good to go. All right, we're back in Classic Arena here. Excited to try out some of your new champions. So let's try it out here. Up against Harima. Let's see how we go. We go buff, we steal and strip, and then our Rhonda nukes, and then Yannicka nukes. Not too bad considering that they do have Harima's passive on the field, so Wukong definitely has enough accuracy to do what he needs to do here. And there we go. Looking pretty good. Not a bad speed farm here. Let's go up against this other team. Here we got a mythical champion. Super scary, but we are positive affinity here. Your Duchess should allow you to carry here. Boom. Rhonda actually smacking. Boom. 7-second farm. Look at this guy. Now you can actually farm some of these teams and like just get some of your progression going. Let's try this team. It's going to be a little bit harder since our attack is positive affinity against Yannicka, but let's see what happens. Boom. And we should get a hit in from Yannicka, and boom. There you go. Look at that. It's actually pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. We got the Wukong strip, we got the buff Wukong strip, and then yeah, Rhonda dealing the big smack. And then Yannicka comes in to finish it up. Negative affinity here, 2 magic affinity, so Yannicka's not going to deal insane amounts of damage. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Nice. I like it. I like it. How about this one against UDK? Let's try this out. I like it. This makes it more enjoyable, right? Like, you know, you're only doing about half of your arena battles, so definitely having a more enjoyable team is going to make it easier to farm and, you know, play this game, obviously. All right, there we go. That's good. 12 seconds. Look at that. Look at that. There you go, man. I did about 20 battles for you in about, 5 minutes, and we made it to silver 3. So, like you can see here, 265k power, 187k power. It doesn't really matter in terms of power, but we have a team that actually makes sense, and it's a fast farm, right? So, I'm really happy for you. Welcome to the arena, Kahlan. You're going to enjoy it. Hopefully you reach gold very quickly. But yeah, you're definitely going to enjoy this. So there you go. A very coherent team, works very well. And yeah, pretty quick farm. So we're in silver 3, so you'll probably be in gold pretty quick. I'll quickly do this. And then we'll hop over and check out other parts of your account. So there you go. Welcome to the arena, man. Just checking out your faction wars here. I see that you have made some progress against Lydia, which is pretty good. So 600, you're about 2/3 there. Definitely keep working on your faction wars. The perception gear is very, very important. So you definitely want to reach like these key thresholds like 14. 14, yeah. You definitely want to put in some effort here. After that, let's check out some of your dungeons. What kind of teams are you running? I don't want to break too many of your teams. I want to make sure that you're still able to farm some stuff. For Dragon, you probably don't have the necessary... probably don't have the firepower to beat this team. I mean, Mythrala can kind of do it against the Dragon, but she needs some help. You don't have like the full regen stuff to keep her going, I think. Just did a quick breakdown for your regen gear on Mythrala. If you can get her to 250 speed in regen with 350 accuracy at like 70k HP, you can probably deal with Hard Dragon pretty easily. She can probably solo it. But as is, I don't think your gear is up to speed. Not strong enough yet. So probably sticking to normal dungeons probably still the best. 4-minute team here. Keep in mind farming 24 is probably better. It's better for gear, it's better for silver, better in a lot of areas. I mean, you probably should be running Duchess here. Wukong's not going to be doing damage. Just Rhonda for damage. Ninja would be decent damage here as well. But Ninja's not fully booked, so that's a little bit of a problem. Probably wouldn't even mind just doing 20. Who's your boss killer here? Mythrala. Boss killer. So your dungeon teams probably needs a little bit of work. based off of what I see right now, I think Ninja is going to be your next next fully booked legendary. Just kind of makes sense. It's either going to be Ninja or Artak, and I think Ninja might actually be a little bit more priority, just so you can actually deal with the Dragon boss, the Ice Golem boss. What about the Spider here? Spider, you're looking for Cold Heart, CC attack. Let's rebuild your Cold Heart before I forget. All right, so I put her back together into the full destroy set. Unfortunately, obviously I don't have a lot of pieces of gear to work with, but she has accuracy for turn meter drop. She has a little bit of crit damage. You can improve that by rolling up this glove. But she's going to be able to work for you, at least for now, temporarily. So there you go. Unfortunately for Hydra, you're pretty limited on options. This might be your best team. You have an increased turn meter booster reviver. You have damage. You could use Artak here as well. You have the strip and block buffs. And then you have a cleanse here with a little bit of shields to keep you alive. And Hex for extra damage. This might be the best deal that you have. You just don't have too many damage dealers. Rathalos could fit in here as well as a damage dealer. Like I said, Ninja works too. You can even use Rhonda on normal difficulty. The problem here is that you just don't have, your damage dealers built out, fully booked. And they're not just, they're not going to be doing a lot of damage. So it's going to be hard for you to deal with even just normal difficulty Hydra. But you have some, pieces here that are going to be good in Hydra as soon as you start getting some of your gearing up to speed. I mean, you could even use somebody like Drexar just for passive damage. But yeah, Arbiter is going to probably come into one of these teams eventually. You could even use like Ursula for another team. Duchess is going to be in a team for sure. So you have like, the bones for it, but you just need some gear, man. So I'm on stage 1 of Doom Tower Hard, and we look like we can at least kill the first wave. So this is, this is hopeful, right? So this means that we can actually progress through Doom Tower Hard, and I don't see that you've done any of that so far. So this is hopeful. So we can actually start making some progress on Doom Tower Hard. So that's a good thing. And I'm not even using Duchess right now. You can definitely use Duchess for some extra support. She's going to be huge here, of course. So I would definitely try to tackle Doom Tower Hard just for some extra rewards. So looks good so far. All right, so just doing some event dungeons for him, seeing if we can get a new personal best here. Made this team up. I think it's going to be okay. We got the block buffs out. Hex for additional control. And then we're going to try to blow up his waves here. Not quite. Rhonda's going to be our only damage dealer other than Geomancer. Let's see here. We got the block buffs from Wukong. We got Reviver just in case. HP burnout. Some damage. And Hex again. Alright. Hex definitely very good just to protect and control the waves. Let's go. Not gonna do anything. Put the shields up. And then we actually have a strip here from Geomancer as well, so that's actually very nice. Okay, let's see if some of these skills line up. So far the skills haven't lined up with his block damage, but I think we can beat this relatively easily. So we steal everything. We got accuracy on Wukong now. So, gain some health. How did he gain health? Okay, we'll be back when we finish this. All right, full manual 253. We are at a personal record for Kahlan here, so he can definitely progress. For example, with the team similar to this, most of his damage is coming from Rhonda, but this team looks pretty safe so far, so he can definitely do it. Probably on full auto too, but yeah, so good progress here as well. All right, guys. I think that's gonna be it for the video. Obviously the video is 1 hour long, so if you guys made it all the way here, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot for watching. And if you guys like this kind of content, let me know in the comments below. Leave me a like and subscribe if you guys enjoy the content. Like I said, obviously it's an hour-long video, but behind the scenes, it's actually significant more time invested into these takeovers. So I don't do them that often, but it's a nice thing to do just to give me, a little bit different perspective into like a different account. Obviously I play, my own accounts, but it's nice to hop into somebody else's account and see what I can do for them. Obviously for Kahlan, it's going to be a massive change for him. He's one keying Ultra Nightmare now. You know, he's carrying his clan in terms of overall damage for Ultra Nightmare. So, you know, it's a big change, right? And obviously he now has an effective arena team, arena roster. He has better built champions. It's just going to be a better game for him, right? I even left his Rathalos untouched, so he can still use his Rathalos, which I think was a decent build. He still needs one more Slayer piece to get the ignore defense, but I left him as is. I left his Sissia as is because it kind of works. But he needs to focus on some of his champions with a little bit more focus. Like I said, his legendary books spreading out like that is not a good thing. I recommend Ninja for your next 60, next fully booked 60. And then Wukong works as a support. So, you know, just looking at an account from a different angle, you know, a different perspective, hopefully it was able to help him. I'm sure he'll be happy with all of this. So thank you so much, Kahlan, for letting me jump on your account, man. Hopefully you're happy with it. And thank you guys as the viewer for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys found it informative. Let me know in the comments below, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff if you guys do enjoy it. And yeah, thanks for your time. I'll see you guys in the next one.